Hello everyone and welcome back. As you can see in the title, today I will be doing a full face of Rare Beauty. I am really excited to do this and revisit the brand as a whole and see how all of the products perform now that they have everything to do a full face. I do have the newer releases here to finally test out for you guys, the bronzer sticks as well as the setting powder, and I also have the new blush shades. And throughout the video I will of course tell you which products are my favorites from the brand and the ones that feel the most worth it. But before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me, and let's get to it. Oh my goodness, you guys, I am not fully awake. I just tried to put a booty band, like those workout bands, as a headband. I was like, why is this headband so massive? It's because it's definitely not made for my coconut. But I found this one. So I guess first things first is primer. They initially came out with the illuminating primer, but since then they came out with the pore diffusing primer, which is so beautiful. I'm kind of torn about which one I should use today. I feel like I'll use the pore blurring one because I don't know if I've ever used it with their foundation. I can't recall. I can't remember little details like that of my life. I can barely remember what I did yesterday. So I'm gonna go in with the pore diffusing primer. Ooh, this one's a really nice blurring one. I'm gonna use 2 pumps. The first pump was a little chintzy. I always put a majority of it in the center of my face and then I kind of rub it towards the outskirts. So basically in the end, it's evenly dispersed all over my face, but I don't know. I always put them in the center first. So now I'm going to be going in with their foundation. I'm using the shade 190W. Now this is a foundation I go in and out of phases with quite often. I feel like it's kind of tricky to trust sometimes or predict what it's going to look like. Sometimes it looks incredible for like a week straight, and then the next day it'll completely disagree with my skin and it'll look like it's dry or sitting on top of my skin rather. So I don't know which route it's going to take today, but I hope it's going to look good. So I'm going to start off by putting little dots on my face. I'm going to try minimal product because this one does have a good amount of coverage. But one of my favorite things from the Rare Beauty line are the brushes, specifically the foundation and concealer one. I really like their shape and their density. I feel like it applies foundation so quickly. I think it's going to be looking good today, but I will say that it's not one of my top favorite foundations anymore just because it is a bit unreliable on my skin, but which is a shame because when it's looking good, it's looking good. It's very blurring. It's very comfortable to wear as well. I'm just gonna add a little bit more in areas where I want to add a bit more coverage. I'll bring you guys in real close so you can see. It just looks so blurring and nice today, which is fun. So now for concealer, I'm going to be mixing these 2 shades because this one's a bit dark and this one's a bit light. But the lighter one is the shade 190W and this one over here is 210N. So I'm just gonna add the tiniest dots of each in the inner and outer corner. That one is 210N and this one is 190W. And I'm first going to disperse that product with the concealer brush. This is one of the products I initially fell in love with, but I haven't been reaching for it as often lately. So it's one of the products I was really excited to revisit in today's video. From afar, looking in my mirror here, it's looking really nice. And a little bit of it stretches a long way, as you can see. And I always work some up in this nook here of my eyes because I have some blueness that I just like to correct. I feel like it makes me look more awake. And now I'm going to take my sponge just to make sure I don't have any excess product floating around on my face. Ooh, okay, this is looking really nice. Okay, so now we're going to be testing out the powder right underneath the eyes. I'm just going to be doing my exact normal routine. I'll revisit this in a bit once I'm done with the cream products. So this powder packaging is gorgeous. So here's the cap, kind of average looking, but the cap inside is stunning. I really love how the logo's in here. And it's fun because you slide this thing to open up the little sifter, and it's really nice to keep the powder contained and more clean. Cute. And they have a couple shades. I have the shade Light. I wanted to read a little bit about the powder since they sent the info sheet. So it goes for $22 USD. There's 5 shades. It says here that it's a silky do-it-all setting powder to smooth, blur, and control shine for soft, natural finish and an all-day comfort. And it's 100% talc free. So I'm gonna take a nice fluffy brush to apply that under the eye. I'll bring you guys in just a touch closer. I just swapped my brush to this melt one because that one was a little scratchy under my eye, but this one's nice and soft. Ooh, that looks nice. It softly blurs. It's not as blurring as my Pat McGrath one under the eye. It looks kind of like I set my under eyes with the Kosas Cloud Set a bit. I think it looks nice under there so far. We'll see how it reacts with the concealer after it's been on for a couple seconds, but looks nice so far. So I'm just putting the powder to the side because now I'm going to be using the cream bronzing sticks. So I have Happy Sol and Power Boost. I think this Power Boost is a bit warmer. It's like a tan shade. I don't know what shade I'm gonna be using. And this other one here is a bit more cooler toned and deeper, obviously. Let's see what they look like when they're sheared out. I feel like that one looks a touch dark. I don't know if I'm in love with the tones. I feel like this one would suit my skin tone a little bit more. This one I feel like it's either going to look really yellow or orangey on me. So I might go with the deeper one, but just use a very tiny amount because it looks like they're quite pigmented. I'm going to draw it on one side and then apply it with a brush on the other. So I'm gonna start off by applying it with my clean brush. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the product like so. Just gonna tap it on the back of my hand. And I'm gonna start on my forehead. Let's see. Ooh, it blends out very powdery feeling and it looks very soft. These go for $23. There's 5 shades and it says a breakthrough bronzing stick that creates an instant sun-kissed glow and blends seamlessly for a second skin finish. Just swipe on and blend and go. Okay, and this is my Melt Cosmetics 777 brush. I think that looks really, really pretty and it blended out really nicely. So now I'm going to draw on this side of my face, but I'm going to go in with a baby amount because it's pigmented. Okay, so there's not a huge difference in the application from going in with the brush directly or from swiping it on. So that's good news. I think both sides look pretty much the same. And it's kind of easier to swipe on a little bit directly on the face instead of going on the brush. So I think either way you do it, I think you're golden. I think that blended out really, really easily. It feels a little bit more wet or gel-like in consistency compared to the Makeup by Mario one or say the M Cosmetics one. I was expecting it to feel a lot more waxy like other stick bronzers in the past that I've tried, but it truly does set down to this nice powdery finish, kind of similarly to this kind of a texture of their melting blushes. So I feel like this is going to have some nice longevity as well. There's not a lot of glow. It's like a nice skin-like finish. I feel excited about it. I think next time I'll try out the lighter shade because I feel like this one might be a touch dark, but I do enjoy this one's tone. And I feel like once I'm a little bit more tanned, I shall use this one a lot. I'm now going to be going in with their highlighters and I'm going to mix up a little bit of a color. I really like mixing these two shades together. This one on its own looks a little bit too yellow gold for my liking and this one's too deep, but together I get like a nice middle ground. I'll show you what it looks like. The yellow gold shade is Outshine and this more bronzy one is the shade Flaunt. I like to add like a nice dot of each shade. Then it creates this nice, more warm gold color that I think is really pretty, more of a neutral tone. And I'm just gonna apply it with my finger, I think. Am I in the mood for a finger? This is a product I initially fell in love with when the brand first came out, and I talked about it so much on my channel, but I think I found a lot of other cream highlights, so I've been preoccupied. But this one is so pretty. It gives a really nice sheer shine, but it does have like a good amount of glow to it as well. They're really nice and buildable, which is fun, so you get a couple options if you want to do something a bit more intense one day. And they also set down eventually, but there we are. That's the highlight on. It's so pretty. Very natural, but still there. Now for blush, I went into this video wanting to go in with these ones. These are my favorite blushes from the brand. They also have these ones here in 2 different finishes. They have dewy as well as matte. They came out with 3 new shades in the dewy formula, but since they launched some new shades, I'm gonna use one of these. I'm forever shocked at how pigmented these blushes are. Like, I know that going into them, but it still leaves me speechless. So here are the 3 shades. So this one over here is Encourage. The one in the middle is Hope. And the last one there is Believe. I really admire that all of the names are very positive, and I think that's nice, especially since Selena has kind of a younger fan base. I don't know which shade I want to go in with. I'm very drawn to all of them. They're cute. Maybe this one, perfect for today. It's a bit softer. I think I'm gonna be going in with Encourage. But just to touch on these ones over here, the melting blushes, I am more drawn to these ones because they give a very sheer effect, and they're very easy to work with, and they set down to that powdery finish like I was mentioning earlier. So they do have really great longevity. I kind of forget how these ones wear just because I haven't used them in such a long time, but my favorite shade out of these little cutie ones is Nearly Neutral. It's one of my favorite kind of nudie brown colors for my skin tone. But I also have the shade Nearly Rose, but my second favorite is Nearly Apricot. It's such a cute, like, corally peachy shade. But let's see how Encourage is. I think I'm gonna put a dot on the back of my hand, then work with it on a brush because I don't want to overload my face again. And I'm going to be using my Quo Beauty foundation brush. So here we go. Oh, that's a pretty shade. It's kind of mauvey. That's a really pretty color. Has like a nice berry mauvey tone to it. I think that's quite flattering. Yeah, I really like that. But now it's time to revisit the powder and see what it looks like on my face. They also came out with this beautiful powder brush. It's fun to feel. Has a good snap to it. This doesn't have a name. But it's the new powder brush. I'm gonna start on my forehead. Oh, pretty. Wow. Okay, it gives a very nice diffused velvety look to your skin. I really like that I'm not seeing any darkening happening to my foundation. Sometimes with like tinted powders like this, that can happen, but that's not happening here at all. I still have some nice luminosity, and I didn't feel like I was applying a powder on my face. Like, I don't have that tightening feeling at all. I think that looks nice so far. We'll see how it wears. I'll bring you guys in closer. The powder under my eyes looks the same as when I applied it. It hasn't moved or gotten weird. I think that's a very flattering looking powder or combination. Yeah, I feel hopeful for that so far. I'm curious to see how it touches up throughout the day, but now it's time to hit my brows, and I was not a fan of their pencil. I found it to be way too pigmented for my liking, but I do really enjoy the brow powders. I don't know which shades I have, but I'm going to be using this one, which looks a bit darker, and I love this one's packaging because I just think it's so smart that they included this little handy brush and spoolie. I think that's so fun. It feels like a little spy tool or something, you know? They're so tiny and sneaky and secretive. It's a nice powder because it feels hydrated, so it doesn't fall out on your face when you're applying it. And it also really adheres to the skin underneath of your brows, which is the most important thing for brow powder. I I forget if they have a brow gel. Let me just quickly check. I kind of feel like they might. Oh yes, it was a pencil and gel in one. But I might have to go in with a little bit of a clear brow gel or something just to get some extra hold and to make my brows look a little bit bushy. But here's what the powder does by itself. I think it's really nice. And it's also a good one to do fine hair-like strokes as well. I just find that the brush it comes with is a bit thick to achieve those little lines, so I do use a different brow brush. But overall, really, really like this product. And if you're a brow powder person, I think you'd really, really enjoy this one. I'm just gonna be going in with a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury's Brow Fix, which is just a simple clear brow gel, just to kind of add some spikiness and some hold. So now we're gonna move on to the eyes, and I have recently fallen in love with their eye primer. This has been the only eye primer I've used in 2022, which we're only a couple weeks in, but still. I really like how it corrects my lids, and it does offer like a good hold on my eyeshadow looks. So I just go in with a little bit in the center, and I like blending it out with my finger the most. It just performs the best when I blend it in with my finger. I just took a mini break because I was losing steam. I needed a little snack. But since then, I'm noticing a few things with the foundation that I forgot happened to me. So I'll bring you in closer so you can see it really clearly around my mouth here, like where I have these little smile lines, which this never happens with other base products. It's looking like a bit dry or something. You can see it pretty clearly on my jaw right here. It's just kind of settling into my fine lines and kind of enhancing my skin in a weird way. It looks okay on my forehead, but yeah, around my mouth is a really, really clear example. But if I go over it with my sponge, it goes away. I might add a bit more powder in that area, but we'll see. The areas that I did set with powder, it's looking really, really nice. Just the areas that I haven't, it's looking dry. So anyways, that's what I wanted to update you guys on. For my eyes, I'm going to be using the liquid eyeshadows because I don't have the eyeshadow palettes. The formula of the eyeshadow palettes is really good. I just wasn't drawn to the color story personally, and I just never used them, so I passed them on to some friends. But I am a big fan of the liquid shadows. They're a really nice formula. I'm going to be using Nearly Neutral today just because I feel like the Nearly Apricot shade will kind of clash with this more mauvey looking blush. This is their eyeshadow brush that they came out with for the liquid shadows. It's really nice and a good one to kind of pat the product on, but I also need like a nice fluffy brush to diffuse it into the crease. So I'm just going to swipe some onto my lid, and then I'm going to take this fluffy brush to get a softer crease. Did I go in with the wrong shade? I think I did. No, I didn't. Okay, it was looking really peachy on camera for a sec. It's so peachy on camera. What the heck? Nearly Neutral who? Not on my camera. Then I'm going to take a little second coat to make it nice and opaque on my mobile lid. I'm going to take that nice brush and kind of pat it in place. If your blend isn't as smooth as you want, you can take your setting powder. I'm just going to take a touch on this clean fluffy brush, and you can set right here, right on top of the edge where you want to diffuse it even further, and it'll add like a nice softened layer to it that masks the appearance of not a perfect blend. So now I'm just gonna put some on my lower lash line as well. I'm gonna try to really hug it towards my lashes. I don't want it to go all the way down. So I'm gonna use a little baby brush. This is a Melt Cosmetics Round Detailed Mini 26. And I'm just gonna pick some up from the thingy, the doe foot. I didn't like how far out I brought this, so I'm just taking my concealer brush and I'm hopefully gonna be able to cover where I don't want it. Okay, there. Okay, so it kind of got blown out of proportion here and got a little lower than I was initially planning on doing, but I still think it's pretty. This formula is really nice. I think it's pretty easy to work with. It's nice to get a nice diffused crease, and it's also really easy to build up. Like, it never gets patchy. Like, it doesn't get patchy when you apply a second layer, but it can get patchy if you're not quick enough. I find that this does have a good amount of working time, like you're able to blend it out, but it is a bit on the quicker side compared to other cream shadows I have in my collection, like the Danessa Myricks Color Fixes or the Smashbox ones per se. I also am not a huge fan of the colors that they came out with. I think they're very fitting for Rare Beauty as a brand, but for my personal preferences, they're all a little bit pinky, and those aren't the tones that I usually gravitate towards for my eyes. Although it's fun to do once in a while, they're just not like the tones that I gravitate towards the most, so I don't use this as often as I would theoretically like. But if you are drawn to the colors, I think you would enjoy them. I think it's a great liquid or cream shadow formula, and they're relatively user-friendly. So now it's time to apply some mascara, and this is my favorite product of the entire brand. It's just everything I look for in a mascara, but it's a really nice volumizing and lengthening mascara, and it really is lightweight, so it holds the curl in your lashes. The only thing though is sometimes the brush can feel a little bit big for my eye shape, so I do get little spots on my eyeshadow time to time, but this is a formula that's easy to flick off with like a spoolie. But I would prefer a smaller brush, but that's just me being super picky. Other than that, it's perfection in my eyes and on my eyes as well. Yeah, see, I just built it up like 3 times on this side, and it doesn't get unflatteringly chunky or anything. It just builds more volume and makes them look more amazing. This is a great mascara if you want more of a lash focused look, kind of like today, just with a cute little pinky background. Now for lips, they don't offer any lip liners as of yet, but I would love to see what they could come up with in that department. But for lip products, they have the dewy lip balms, which I wasn't a fan of. They also have the matte lip creams. I have a couple shades here. These are fun. They're kind of like inspired by K-Beauty. They have that whipped soft silicone-y texture to them, and I think they're really nice. They give like a blurred effect to your lips as well. And they also have the glossy lip balms, which are my favorite products for the lips that they offer. I think I'm gonna go in with one of these today. I'm just going to quickly line my lips with M Cosmetics Kitten. My lips are so dry, don't look at them. I'm happy I'm going in with the glossy lip balm things, because sheesh, that's dry looking at that up close. I'm first gonna go in with a little bit of Nearly Apricot because it's more pinky. Just gonna see, I feel like this would look nice and fresh with the eyes. I feel like the eyes look a lot more pink. That's cute. I think that's cute. I'm just gonna use this one shade. I wish these did have a bit more pigment to them, but they offer like a little mini tint, but the texture is really nice. It does just feel like a liquid lip balm. It's nice for the winter time. And the last thing that they offer, or that I have here, is their setting spray, the Always an Optimist spray. It's like a 4-in-1 mist. I love this one. It's a great one to rehydrate your skin if it's looking a little bit dry, or if you added too much powder. It's a good one to like rehydrate your face. It's also really nice and refreshing. It smells so nice. I'm just gonna forego using it just because I don't feel like I need to use it, but it's one of my favorites, as you can see here. But here is the finished look. Here is a full face of Rare Beauty. Overall, I think the face looks really nice and cohesive. There's just a few minor things that I'm not the biggest fan of. I think that's just the foundation kind of looking dry and enhancing texture where I'm not used to seeing my texture enhanced. But now I'm just going to take a quick minute to pick the products I would recommend the most, or the ones that feel the most special to me. And I'll also mention the ones I would stay away from. This is a rare, circumstance. There's nothing from the entire line that I dislike. There's not a product that I look at and I'm like, wow, this is a terrible formula and it does not perform well. I feel like things just don't suit my preferences. Like the tinted lip balms per se, or the eyeshadow palettes, like they're not my favorite color stories, but everything else I think performs really nicely. I'm just a little bit iffy on the foundation, but that's about it. I do have like top favorites of mine, which I'll go through right now. So of course, top favorite is the mascara. It's beautiful through and through. I think a majority of people would really enjoy this mascara. Another product that feels very special and I get excited about all the time are the melting blushes. I think these are just so unique and cute and they wear really well. And I also really enjoy the brow powder. It's a product that has really grown on me the last couple months and I've really grown to appreciate it. It's just genius packaging and it performs really well. And my last top favorite is the eyeshadow primer, just because it works amazingly. There isn't anything that I would say to like stay away from. I think it's all just preference. I really enjoy the liquid blushes. I think they perform well. I really enjoy the primers time to time. I think they perform really well with other foundations. The concealer is great for a good medium coverage concealer. The highlighters are incredible. I really like the Soufflé lips as well as the liquid shadows and of course the liquid lip balms. There's just like, whenever I look at this brand, I'm like, wow, I pretty much enjoy the entire range. And I'm really excited to continue testing out the powder as well as the bronzer sticks. I'm gonna see how they wear today. I might pop in and share like a little update later in the day. I would love to know which product is your favorite from Rare, and they also are going to start selling to the UK, I think February 1st. I just saw that in a newsletter or something, so that's exciting. Hi guys, I just wanted to pop in and show you how the makeup is wearing. I don't know how long it's been because I forgot to check the clock when I finished my makeup, and the timestamp on my footage is wrong. It says 4 a.m. but I know it's been a couple hours. So you can see like my foundation is getting a little bit shiny, so I wanted to see what the powder does when I want to touch up my face. Also, all I've been doing is editing the video you're watching right now, and I actually changed the lip liner. I switched it to MAC Oak, and I like MAC Oak a lot better than M Cosmetics Kitten with the lip balm thing. Anyways, but let's see what this powder looks like when you use it to touch up. Okay. And here. Ooh, okay. That looks nice. I usually do this like once during the day when I'm wearing my makeup for a longer period of time, but that refreshed it really nicely. Re-blurred the areas. I look fresh again. Also, the foundation, like as my skin has gotten oilier, it looks a lot better. It doesn't look dry anymore. It looks like one again with my skin. It didn't continue getting weird in my smile lines at all. That whole situation kind of disappeared, which is great news. It's very rare that a foundation gets better with age. Anyways, so that's it for the first checkup. I'll see you at the end of the day. I'm here for my last checkup of the day. I'm ready for bath and bed now, but here is what my makeup is looking like. I think it all got better with age, to be honest. I kept like peeking at myself while I was editing this video and I was like, dang, my skin looks so nice and healthy. Everything is so pretty and no creasing on the eyes. The brow powder stayed intact. The foundation hasn't gotten weird at all. It just has seriously gotten better with age. It's so cool. My under eyes look really great. I have high hopes for this powder. I think my skin still looks really nice and refreshed since I refreshed it last. And the bronzer is still there. It's definitely faded a little bit, but I still have the definition I added earlier on in today's video. So I think this was a huge success. So that is all for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give this video a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll make sure to link all of the products I used in today's video in the description down below, so feel free to check that out, and I will see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.